All right, so here's a question from Angie. Can I get a surety bond with subpar credit? If so, who do you recommend? Okay, so number one, I can't really recommend. There's so many out there, and their programs change all the time. Just go to Google and search for freight broker surety bond. You'll find tons of them, okay? But as it relates to your credit, right? So a surety bond is based predominantly on your acceptance and rate on your surety bond is determined very heavily by your personal credit, right? So having a surety bond is a requirement in order to have your freight broker authority deemed active. So you file for your authority, you get your bond, you show proof of your bond to the FMCSA. They then deem your authority active, and you now have the ability to broker freight. Freight agents do not need a surety bond. They do not need a freight broker authority. They work under a licensed freight broker who has a surety bond, and that's why they work in partnership. But back to the question. So yes, you can get a freight broker bond with subpar credit. You will just have to pay a little more than people with good credit. Typically, what you're going to find is that most surety bonds are somewhere between 2 and 5% of the bond cost of the total bond. So if you have a $75,000 bond, it's somewhere between 2 and 5%. Now, if you have really bad credit, there are some companies that will underwrite you in that bond, but they're going to charge more. They might charge 6 or 7 or even 8%. So it'll be a heavy premium, but you can get it. So the only way to determine if you're going to get the bond at a price that you can afford is for you to apply, right? That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. So that's that. I hope that helps you, Angie. There, maybe you can. If you're a member of my Freight Broker Bootcamp course, there are some recommendations there. We also have a Freight Broker Bootcamp members only group for only members that are a part of that you can ask and see where they got their bonds from. So a lot of that collaboration and questions will go into places like that where brokers are actually getting bonds. They'll say how much they're paying for their bonds. It's very collaborative. It's a great tool. I just launched that Freight Broker Bootcamp member only group just in the last month or so. And they're loving it. It's a great group, a lot of collaboration, a lot of questions getting answered, a lot of help. It's an additional support tool, right, for all of our members. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for the question, Angie. Hey, if you enjoyed this Freight Broker Q&A, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click the little bell to ensure that you get notified every time I release a new video. And if you have questions, make sure you add them in the comments below. And who knows, maybe I'll use one of your questions on a future Freight Broker Q&A.